on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like Matheson. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening.
Greetings from beautiful BC, where the champions are ready to face the top scorers in the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, official bank of the NSL. Nigel Reid in the booth alongside Canada Sports Hall of Famer Craig Forrest as the Vancouver Rise lock horns with the Ottawa Rapid at Swangard Stadium in Burnaby. Both teams coming off wins before the international break and both keen to continue that momentum this afternoon. And Craig, let's talk about Vancouver first. 3 straight wins, they are on some sort of tear.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's quite a good reply for the start of the season. Obviously, we know about the changes in the team, the champions, and they've really replied brilliantly well after losing the first 3 games, conceding 11 goals. Good start to this match here.
Indeed. It was a crazy game in Montreal. There were 5 goals altogether, and the woodwork, well, we lost count of the number of times the post and the crossbar was rattled as well. That's Josie Longhurst putting them back in front, but the lead wouldn't last, and Naomi Paquin round the corner and smashes it into the top of the net to make it 2-2. So would it be a point apiece? It would not. Jamie Perreault using those fresh legs as a substitute into the area and picking out Jess DiFilippo. First time, what a finish, and 3 more points for the Vancouver Rise. So are there changes to the starting lineup? Well, actually there is just one today. Top left hand side of your screen there, an introduction for young Algerian international Anais Oularbi, who comes in as that left wing potency alongside Abdu and DiFilippo, and dropping to the best Josie Longhurst in their familiar 3-4-3 formation for the Vancouver Rise. Now, I mentioned they won 3 in a row. It may not be a coincidence that that goalkeeper for those 3 wins has been young Japanese player Jessica Wolf. I spoke to her just a little while ago. Jessica, this is your 4th appearance today for the Vancouver Rise. How excited are you to have broken into the first team, and now you are the starting goalkeeper?
I'm so excited because I was playing like this more 1 year from the last year, so I'm so excited every single game right now.
And a great start to your professional career. You've made 3 appearances and Vancouver have won 3 games while you've been in goal. How do you explain that? You must be very happy with the results in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm so happy with that. Team trying to use my strong point, and also our defender supporting me a lot, and our striker being really good, and they have their tempo every game, so that's why we've been really great.
Well, let's hope it's another good team performance today. Jessica, thank you so much and enjoy the game.
Thank you.
And you know what it's like if you're a goalkeeper, there's only one position. You're either playing or you're not playing. Ottawa, let's talk about the Rapid. They were down east in Halifax, got a fortunate start with a first ever goal for Jalisa Harris. They also got a penalty as well, didn't they, Craig?
Yeah, they did, and then Pre-Damage steps up, and you would expect a player of this quality, especially this season, to put it away, but hands up to the goalkeeper. Well played, great save to keep it at 1-0.
So, would they make the most of their good fortune? They did. How about this from Julia Bernati? What a strike that is. Bending into the top corner. No chance for the keeper on that occasion. So we're back at 1-1, but then disaster in the last couple of minutes.
Oh, it's about as sloppy as you could get defensively, isn't it? Just spills it in the last, it was 88th minute. Freedom makes up for the missed penalty, bangs it home for 3 points for Ottawa.
So 4 out of 5 wins for the Rapid, and there are 2 changes to the lineup. A welcome return in that number 10 position for number 14, the experienced leadership of Mina Lee back via injury, and the other change is in goal, where Melissa Dagenet returns in goal for the Ottawa Rapid in their 4-2-3-1 formation. So can they keep their form going today? I had a chance a little earlier to talk to their captain, Liv Scott. Live a beautiful, hot, sunny day in Burnaby. Now, you've won 4 of the last 5. Tell our viewers a little bit about the key to consistency as far as Ottawa are concerned in recent weeks.
Yeah, I think it hasn't just been recent weeks. It's been a year in the making. We like to pride ourselves on even being more consistent. I think last year we only had 2 wins in a row, and we're trying to build on that. So building on just playing our game, connecting our passes.
Of course, you have history with Vancouver, thinking back to the playoffs last season. That, I guess, is now a distant memory. You have played them already this year and beat them handily. I've got a feeling you're going to come up against a more competitive opponent today. What do you think?
Yeah, Vancouver's a great team. They've always been a great team. We're not happy about the last time we were at this field, how the game went. So we're excited to bring some motivation, and I think they're going to bring that right back because they're not happy about how they played against us, so it should be a good one.
Enjoy the game. Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Nigel.
It is hot and it is sunny in Burnaby at Swangard Stadium, somewhere around 29 Celsius, so that will mean hydration breaks. The teams are ready and so are we. Kickoff is just ahead.
Hi, I'm Diana Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit NSL.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your favorite team. Tell us why everyone should watch the Northern Super League. Call now, find out where and when to watch, and tune in.
Warm welcome back to Swangard Stadium and the meeting of 2 Danish friends, the respective coaches of the Vancouver Rise and the Ottawa Rapid, Katrina Peterson and her counterpart Anja Heine-Muller. I wonder what language they're speaking. Could be one of several. Vancouver Rise, that's Jessica Filippo. We've spoken about her and her ability to score goals and assist. And the Vancouver Rise, all in black, will get us underway and will attack the goal to your left in this first half against the white shirts and blue shorts of the Ottawa Rapid. And we may mention that the last time these two met earlier in the season, it was one-sided. Ottawa won by 4-0. I've got a feeling, Craig, and I may be wrong, I usually am, but I think this might be a lot closer today.
I think so. You know, both these teams are in pretty good form. And Vancouver, the champions, of course, you know, really bouncing back after those poor 3 games to open up the season with 3 wins after that. So they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're finding the back of the net, and they're certainly better defensively. So we look out for that. And the goalkeeper, Wolf, is going to get the ball here. This youngster has actually performed very well under some, difficult circumstances and under pressure, especially when you're coming in after you conceded 11 goals after the first 3 games.
And you're only 21 years old. As a young goalkeeper, I don't, you know everything about what that feels like when you get your chance to be the player on the field with the gloves.
Yeah, that's right. And you mentioned it. There's, unfortunately for goalkeepers, there's only one spot, and you have to work hard, and sometimes you have to be patient for that opening, as she certainly was, and she's performed well and managed to keep her spot for her 4th consecutive start.
3 appearances, 3 wins for Jessica Wolf, and she make that 4 in the next 90 minutes. As Rise make their way forward. Di Filippo might get a second chance here. Swing and a miss with the first one still going. And in the end, Bobby Liv Scott, it's out of play. It will be the first corner, the first moment of danger inside the Ottawa Rapid penalty area.
We've seen Di Filippo really, muscle players off the ball in the last few matches especially. She's just a truck through there, very difficult to mark. She's going to leave one on you too. She's very physical and direct and did very well over the last few weeks. It's been very promising for her. Picked up 7 goals, I believe, last season.
Pante has made her way over to that far quadrant, will whip this in left-footed, try and get it underneath the goalkeeper's crossbar. Referee has blown the whistle, saw a little bit of pushing, so what might have happened announced nothing. Mario Alias from Laval, Quebec is our match referee. And the return in goal of Mel Dagenet after making way for Molly Eriksson last time out. Dagenet, all in red, is the last line of the defence for the visitors. All the way through to her opposite number, Jessica Wolf. As I mentioned, it is a hot day, not just warm. Temperatures approaching 30 Celsius. And probably a degree or two warmer than that down at field level. So it won't be a surprise to anybody to learn that we will have official hydration breaks at roughly the midway point of each half.
Yesterday we had a chance to talk to the coach, Katrina Pedersen, and actually asked her about the temperature, whether she would change her approach to a match because of that. And she said no, but what we do is prepare properly, especially with hydration, 24 hours, 48 hours before the match to make sure they're physically ready.
Good distance on the kick there from Wolf, and it was about giving chase. But Scott had to scamper across there to knock it into touch. Camila Reyes wearing 10, the Colombian attacking midfielder for the Rise. It will be a Vancouver throw midway inside the Ottawa half of the field. Heine Muller, who leads the Rise all the way to the championship back in November 2025. So we've spoken to her about the fact that there is always something of a target on your back, and just over the end, a thump of the turf, and Di Filippo again had a look at the net and couldn't keep it down. Might have done better, Craig.
Yeah, it was a really good chance. Just couldn't keep it down over the bar. She just tried to get her toe on this, and when you're reaching for it, sometimes you're going to get underneath it, and that's exactly what she was frustrated about.
A couple of early looks for the Vancouver Rise striker, Di Filippo. Has 2 goals already this season. Would like to add to that tally. Keeper decides not to come. And the first touch for Kayla Adamek, the right back for the Ottawa Rapid. Gets through a ton of work on a regular basis, Adamek. Likes to get forward and support the attack. And Pridham can't give her time or space. Will be Ottawa free kick inside their own territory.
Vancouver working really hard on pressing high up the pitch here. See how that develops into play. It certainly has worked out very well for them in the early stages.
Filippo brings in Quinn, veteran international midfielder, Olympic champion. Jessica Cowart for the through ball, just too much on it. Behind for the goal kick. First time these two have met at Swan Guard since that fateful night back in November in the first leg of the semi-final playoffs. Vancouver went on to win that by 2-1. Latifa Abdu scored a pair that night. We heard Liv Scott talking about the fact that Ottawa haven't forgotten what happened last time they were here. Met with the quick throw. Chu. Pridham turning. Mina Lee. Cheong, 3 Koreans, by the way, in the Ottawa starting lineup. This is young Naomi Lofthouse, who's been brought in on that left back berth. Chu has now been pushed forward in a more attacking role, and has scored a couple of very good goals this season. Trina Peterson, Ottawa Rapids head coach. She's all about consistency, keeping her players honest, making sure they maintain the standard that was set before the season ever kicked off.
Yeah, a fantastic coach, and also a fantastic football player in her day. 20 years with the Danish national team. Only 4 appearances short of the legendary German Brigitte Prinz. So you get the idea. 210 appearances over 20-year span, moving into coaching. The Danes sure produce players and coaches.
Given away by Yeka. Chu across the field behind Pridham. Mel Forbes will give chase on that far side to try and keep the move going. Ball is going to cross the whitewash, and it's going to be behind for a goal kick. But Yeka was a little fortunate there because she was a little careless.
Yeah, this is what you see sometimes from Vancouver. It could be a little bit sloppy when they're trying to play out of the back. You have to be very careful with that, especially against the quality that Ottawa have up front. And get the ball to Pridham. She's not going to miss many opportunities. She can also supply the opportunities too, with 3 assists on the season as well.
Sarah Yeka, an experienced former Canadian international. Quinn, head up, looking for the ball on the left-hand side, and it will make its way all the way through to Pante, into the area. Perhaps there's enough white shirts, and Jung takes responsibility, clears up towards halfway. Pridham will have to do it all by herself, waiting for the cavalry to arrive. Back to the Korean Jung. Lisa Harris and Liv Scott, regular central defensive partnership at the back for Ottawa. Generally play with 4 at the back. Unlike Vancouver, we've gone with that 3-person centre-back pairing with wing-backs. Now Latifa Abdou, first chance to run and go. Abdou, has she overrun it? Gajne had to be brave, dive at her feet and made sure she got the ball and not the player.
It's got to be a scary feeling when you have Abdou running at you. She's got some pace, she can get around players, and she got a terrific shot on her too. So best thing is to do, show her outside. Heavy touch a little bit, goalkeeper recognizes that, comes out really, really smartly to make the save.
Working on Vancouver again with Filippo. Lofthouse trying to defend, Filippo couldn't try and get there. Swing and miss. Kira Mellenhorst on that occasion, but they've got it forward. And again, Pridham is isolated up against Yeka this time. She'll take her on if she can get a shot away. Pridham might get a second chance, keeps it in. Forbes couldn't quite get there. Mina Lee and Jung looking for the ball forward, and a possibility. In the end, it was wide of the far post when the shot came in, but action at both ends of the field.
Yeah, Pridham seems to get, she does get isolated up top and does need that support, but when she doesn't have it, she will hold the ball up really well. She knows how to do that as a front player, as a figure point of all the attacks generally, but they need to get up there a little bit quickly.
At the other end, Abdou up against Harris, didn't have the support which she assumed was arriving. Lofthouse clears. Vancouver threatening again on the edge of the Ottawa penalty area. Mina and Kira Mellenhorst just too far in front of Forbes, out of play for another rise throw. Tori Timoth, the Australian defender. And about ahead of her. Finds its way back to Lofthouse. Just 18 years of age. Yeka beats Pridham on this occasion. To the long ball forward. Timoth again. Inside for Quinn. Square it goes for Mia Pante. Keep an eye on Pante, wearing 22, bottom of your screen. Natural left footer, loves to get forward and support the attack. She can cause fullbacks real problems. That's going to run out of play. But a lively start at both ends of the field. They've been little more than just half chances, haven't they?
No, yeah, it's been exciting and certainly what we expected from the two teams in fine form. We're lucky with that last game we called with Montreal and Vancouver. Was just a cracking match, and both these teams will never say die. Both of them can score goals really, really late, as we saw in the last appearance by both sides.
Sensible turn. Find Harris, and now Lofthouse brings it forward. Support was coming a little slowly, and Quinn takes over. And more possibilities here for Vancouver. That wasn't the ball, unfortunately. Made a present of it to Adamek, who clears with no pressure, but Pante wings it back. Quinn square. Vancouver prepared to play possession soccer for the time being. Yeka and Cowart. Chip over the top from Cowart. Appeals for offside, nothing given. Then the shot comes in, it's only a couple of feet wide. Abdu made a move to get there, but saw the shot coming in and let her teammate take it on.
Wasn't an awful lot of power in the shot, but it didn't need to be. It looked pretty well directed, heading to the corner. The goalkeeper happy to see that one go by the post.
Well, De Filippo has had a couple of 2 or 3 looks at goal in the opening 14 minutes. And Ottawa need to keep a firm eye on her.
Yeah, Vancouver doing an excellent job putting them under pressure, and Ottawa's having a hard time putting passes together. They're looking for that consistency, and she ought to be a little bit better at that. But not always easy when you're under that pressure constantly from Vancouver.
Abdu trying to turn on the edge of the area. Ayers couldn't find a teammate. It's intended for an about. Behind for another goal kick. Teresa Harris. Stallwood at the back for Ottawa. Adamek goes to the near touchline. Puts it forward. Good turn. And a good challenge, or was it? No, it's unfair from Yeka Pridham, who almost turned her and was almost away. Yeka had to do what was necessary. Real handful, DB Pridham. It's demonstrated by her goals in 2025 and has already started scoring them again in 2026. She's earned her national recognition. Part of the Canadian women's senior squad. De Filippo. Oh, De Filippo should score here. Oh, tried to chip Desgenais. And Desgenais, I believe, is probably the tallest goalkeeper in the league.
You have to expect that De Filippo in a situation like this, she's expecting Desgenais to make a play, to commit herself and looking to just take it over top of her. But she stands up really well, stays big, waits for De Filippo to make her decision, and in the end makes it look very easy. But well done by the goalkeeper.
6'1", Mel Desgenais, and as you said, held her nerve, held her ground. But Vancouver, as you can see by that graphic there, has been very active offensively in the opening quarter of an hour or so. couple of misplays defensively by Ottawa are inviting pressure from the home team. Ottawa haven't really settled into their stride yet, which we have come used to seeing. Jung finds Adamek. Chips it down the line. Chu will give chase. Play, it'll be Ottawa ball. Chance to build something deep inside Vancouver territory. He's decided that the free kick will go the way of Vancouver for the challenge on Ularbi from Mellenhorst.
Obviously, Vancouver have worked very hard on getting things right after a tough start to the season, but they've really done their homework on their dangerous players that Ottawa provide, and so far have kept them really, really close and tight and not letting them get any space and turning on them, certainly. We saw that with Chu in the corner, facing up to her very quickly. So far, Vancouver has to be the happier of the two sides.
I would think so.
Other than the finishing.
Well,
you know, I mean, we've seen that. We saw that with the Canadian men's national team, right? You got to put your chances away, and it's the toughest part of the business. That's why they get the big bucks, the front players.
Adamek takes a deflection off Abdu, and away for a throw for Ottawa Rapid, way inside their own half of the field. Adamek in no hurry to trot after that. As I mentioned, it is a hot day, and you've got to manage your own body in these conditions. So it's likely, isn't it, that the pace of the game is gonna fall at some stage.
Yeah, you would think so, and then also that makes it very important to, you know, for the bench players, the impact players that are going to come on and could possibly change the game. And later in this match, when legs start to get heavy, because you would expect that to happen.
Cowart. To ping it out to the left-hand side, looking for Ularbi. But Adamek was in quickly at the expense of a throw on or about halfway. Polish international Kayla Adamek, but a tireless worker down that right-hand flank. Orthodox right back, but does like to get forward as well. What a great engine, Adamek. Here's Pante for the home team. Quinn, head up, looking for that pass. Filippo took her eye off the ball momentarily. Mel Forbes denied. Helped on by Quinn. Two in the area. Jung will bring it away. Inside for Mellenhorst. Forbes waiting on that far touchline. Little better possession. This from Ottawa. Just trying to feel their way into the game, because, as you suggested, and from what we've seen, Vancouver have been certainly the aggressors in these first 20 minutes. Mellenhorst again. Jung. Tumeth, back for Cowart. Yaka again. It's time to consider options. Pante had room on the left-hand side and was summarily ignored. Reyes in midfield. Here's the Colombian again with the quick ball over the top. Now, room here for De Filippo. If she can pick out a teammate, he picked out Harris. Keep it going though. Reyes again, thinks about the shot, it's charged down. Pante, as Vancouver look for that opening goal. It won't quite come. Cool under pressure. Harris. Pridham and Yeka, that's a battle that's going to go on all afternoon. And then swept out to that left-hand side. Forbes giving chase, keeps it in. Mina and Pridham are waiting, as was Cowart, JC they call her. and sweeps it out of play for a throw.
That was decent from Ottawa. Had some space down the line. Good ball out. Switch of play was excellent. Opened up some space and some time. And looked much better than we've seen so far from the squad.
They've turned it over again in midfield, and the counter-attack could be on here. Abdu wanted it the other way. A little bit of a misunderstanding. She wanted it on her left foot. And when it went the other way, just a further discussion. So as we'll make sure we get it right next time. The outcome is a throw for Ottawa. Should be taken by young Naomi Lofthouse. Getting involved. Once again, Vancouver first of that loose ball, 50-50 balls. Play the give and go. Abdu and DeFilippo. Mellenhorst. Felt Reyes breathing down her neck, and the Colombian is penalised.
Reyes so important to this Vancouver side. Ever present, certainly she started every game this match this season. You can see why. She's just so energetic and has great vision and brings others into play so well.
Talking about Adamek getting forward, she did there, but now she's going to have to get back to right back, do the day job. Be exhausting, having that much responsibility. Second chance. Looking for Cowart. Filippo there, in the middle of your screen, coming deep to get involved and get the rise going towards the Ottawa goal. And about. Larby and Abdu waiting for the through ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Noticeably in the last minute or so the pace has dropped, as we thought it might. There is a hydration break imminent, we're told, maybe at the next stoppage in play. Now then, Pante for Abdu. See for Abdu. In for Reyes. Managed to keep on the ball. We'll get a second chance, Reyes. I'll take it, she says. And Pridham in with the challenge. Not just a goal scorer, DB Pridham. She understands the expectation of being, as some coaches would put it, the first defender, even though she's the centre forward.
That's right. I mean, it's so important to, when you defend as a unit, to start from the front players, and she does that very well. She knows her role, like you said, not only in the offensive zone, but what she has to do defensively. So important.
Here they come again, and about. Filippo, Quinn, plenty forward in black. If Quinn can pick the right pass. Again. Took a deflection, I think, and away for another corner for the Vancouver Rise. Yeah, it's hot. Minutes gone in the heat in Burnaby. No score between the champions, the Vancouver Rise, the NSL's top scorers, the Ottawa Rapid. Pante over there to take this corner. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger again towards the penalty spot. They're trying to Quinn, helping it on, and Abdu on the volley couldn't keep it down and belts it over the top. See by the expression on her face, she's just a little disappointed there.
Yeah, obviously the target player has to be DeFilippo because she's so strong in the air. She does get her head on it. Comes to Quinn, puts it into the dangerous area. Abdu comes into a little bit late. She had to strike it early, and it was difficult to keep it down. under pressure.
Have a turn by Kieran Mellenhorst away from danger. Adamek for Scott. Jong surrounded by black shirts. Adamek. The hydration break has been delayed by a couple of minutes. He cannot be far away. In no hurry. Pushing it for Adamek again. His first touch. Chu ahead of her. Turning is Mellenhorst. I'm going to say this only once, by the way, given the state of play. There has never been a 0-0 draw, a 0-0 draw between these two teams in 8 previous games. Here is Chu trying to make sure that I'm right.
Yeah, we hope. I mean, we like to see goals, of course.
Of course we do.
We've seen some pretty good 0-0 matches, but
Now oh, goodness me. What a fine strike that is. The opening goal. And Mina Lee back in the team after injury. Took a glance up. They allowed her the time to take the shot on, and the Korean breaks the deadlock right on cue. And the Rapid lead Vancouver by 1-0.
this is what happens when you miss chances down the other end. You're going to give up some opportunities, but this is a really nice strike. Outside the box, strikes it really, really well, hits it just inside the post. Wolf has to go at it, but the height, the power on it was enough to get it by her into the back of the net. 1-0 for Ottawa. You could say against the run of play somewhat, certainly from a chances point of view.
You could indeed. First goal of the season for Mina Lee, and what an impact she has had on her return after injury. And right on cue, we move to the hydration break, due by Powerade. As we mentioned, it is a hot day, but what a great finish. You would have thought that, and I'm sure that Vancouver did their homework, that they know what Mina is capable of. You'd like to have seen a defender step in there and make the job more difficult.
Yeah, exactly. But what she does also have is the ability to play around that as well. So if you close her down really quickly, she can skip by you and take a half yard. Very technically good, as well as what we just saw with a really good strike from outside the box. Need to be really good to beat Wolf, who's been pretty good over the last 3 games. Wonderful strike. Now this is really going to put something into this game as well, because obviously Vancouver has to reply to this. DeFilippo with some chances. She's been well amongst it, but she needs to be better in the final third with the actual pass or the finish.
Have another look at the goal. It really is a terrific strike from Mina Lee. She takes 1 step, 2 steps, sets herself, but that is an exceptional finish from that distance.
It really is. It has to be good. And it was really well placed. Terrific. She doesn't see that strut, doesn't see that pressure, doesn't feel it coming toward her, and why not take a chance?
If you don't buy a ticket, as they say,
yeah, you miss every shot you don't take.
Can't win the lottery. So well done to Mina Lee for taking that on and making the difference, breaking the deadlock at Swangard Stadium. And as I think I mentioned a couple of moments ago, there has never been, and now there won't be, a 0-0 draw in this game either. So, time for Anja Heine-Muller. Just encourage her players, because you're absolutely right, Craig. I mean, the first 20-25 minutes, most of the chances, probably 90% of the chances, were at the other end of the field. They didn't take them. Then Ottawa go down the other end and steal the lead.
That's just the nature of the beast, and we've seen that happen so often in football. And that's, like I said, how important it is to take those opportunities when they come, because you're always going to give up a couple. You know, these hydration breaks, we've seen it in the World Cup where they're mandatory now, right? So you're having them whether you like it or not. It's something that we're going to see probably slip into the game. But it's also going to change things, I believe, in the way people approach it. Whether we like it or not, the momentum is going to change. You see it happen in other sports, whether it is a timeout or end of a quarter. And with the amount of time that they have, it'll give teams a chance to take a breather, so their approach to matches could be different, as well as the actual intensity and the momentum changes that we might see before and after these hydration breaks.
Especially when you've just seen a goal scored. The team that's conceded wants to get back to the circle, they want to get going again and get back in the game. So, you know, a temporary delay there, but it is, as you rightly say, it's now part and parcel of the modern game. Here is Mellenhorst, who takes a tumble. And, the challenge of Reyes. It is week 8 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, official bank of the NSL. So first blood to the Ottawa Rapid. We're pretty happy about that because they were under the cosh for probably the first 20 minutes of the game. But they couldn't get the ball into the back of the net. Quinn knows that, everybody else does. Now they've got to respond again. Which, to be fair, they did last time out in Montreal, so not an unfamiliar situation for the Rise. Looking to get back on terms. De Filippo took it in stride, but stroked it a couple of feet wide. She'll be disappointed. She saw the goal.
Yeah, good build-up play by Vancouver here. Very well done. Lays a pass in, great weight on it. Good pick of a pass. Picks out De Filippo again, and again drags it wide. She's going to get one right eventually, you'd think.
You would think. Quidham battling with Quinn and Yeka. Ends up on the deck. No whistle. Referee says play on. Bout will do so on the far side as Vancouver search for an equaliser and a response to Mina Lee's first goal of the season. The area it goes again. Abdu and Chung have a free clearance at it with the Korean. Quinn eager to get things going. Abdu and a couple of half looks. Larbi, the debutant. Will come for Pante on this near side, left-footed. Charge down. Pante will get a second opportunity to swing it into the area. Well, that's decent. Bout will keep it in. And Jaleesa Harris doing what every good central defender does. Gets her body in the way at the expense of another corner.
Yeah, good spell again from Vancouver, and I like the way De Filippo does what she does here. Is she takes a touch, sees it, she has a bit of a vision about what's around her, lays in a very good pass, and well cut out by Ottawa for another Vancouver corner.
So despite the scoreline, you can't argue about the quality of Mina Lee's strike since the hydration break. Sort of back where we were in the first 20 minutes with Vancouver attacking aggressively. Can they find the equaliser? Free header for De Filippo at the far post, but couldn't keep it down.
Sort of been the story of the match for De Filippo so far, and Vancouver. Not a bad opportunity. Just a little bit of shuffling and looking for positions in the box, but gets a little bit underneath it, can't keep it on target.
Another half opportunity for Jess De Filippo. Goes a begging, but there will be more, you can be sure of that. But Ottawa will be perfectly happy with the state of play. They've ridden their luck at times, but they have the one goal that counts so far with a little over 10 minutes to go to half-time. Chimeth with the throw, the right-hand side. Australian international. Yeka. Larbi getting involved. For Yeka again, this time spreading it for Pante on the left-hand side. Chu was keeping guard. Adamek. With a deflection off Abdu, it will be an Ottawa throw. On by Ulabi. Yeka is in, Coward, I beg your pardon, in quickly. Filippo trying to chip it over the top, just too much on it. Idea was right, trying to play in Abdu.
Yeah, she did actually have the right idea there. That's a tough pass, but knows who she's picking out, and Abdu is certainly the target.
Sure.
A little bit heavy on the pass that time.
Half a club too many.
Yep. I've been there too.
Yeah. Haven't we all? So Dagenet can breathe again, as can her defenders. They do like to play their way out, which is an admirable tactic as long as everybody's on the same page and everybody's focused and switched on, because mistakes can and do happen from time to time. And Abdu, well, did she hit Reyes on the arm? Referee's going to let that go. Chu trying to help it on with some help from Jung, fellow Korean. Reyes to Filippo. Thought about going wide. Thought about it the second time. Quinn takes over. Yeka again. Pante to her left. Not that way this time. Looking for Anabout on the far side. Larby. Filippo and Abdu were all waiting for the ball that never came. Maybe it will now. No, it won't, because there's an offside flag on that far side.
Credit Vancouver for pushing Ottawa back, and they're having a hard time getting up, and then they do get a ball up to the front. Freedom. They haven't been able to get the support up to her, so that balance has been very difficult for them to get, and that's a credit to Vancouver in the way they're playing, putting them under pressure. Like you say, comfortable at the back, Ottawa. Goalkeeper Dagenet very comfortable with the ball, but they haven't really been able to build from that and have an end product at the moment anyway.
But they're sticking to their principles. Dagenet in no great hurry. Pushes it again to Adamek, not for the first time. Inside for Jung. Then the invitation for the strikers to make their way forward. So Yeka read the danger. Britain, by the way, has scored 7 goals for Ottawa against Vancouver, including, by the way, 4 goals in 3 appearances at Swangard Stadium. So that's one heck of a record. She'd like to change that stat again in the next 45 minutes or so. Yeka will cushion it back for Jessica Wolf, who has been generally underemployed and really had little chance with the precision of the strike from Mina Lee.
Yeah, not an awful lot to do except pick the ball out of the back
Right.
of the net. I mean, most of it's been in the favor of Vancouver. Vancouver struggled really with their finishing and maybe their last pass and picking out. And, you know, maybe need to be a little bit more patient at times, but I've seen that being a little bit better, especially from DeFilippo holding up the ball well.
Cowart leading the counter-attack, then the long ball forward, but much too far forward, and Dagenet is already playing sweeper-keeper. So Abdu didn't bother to waste any energy by chasing that one down, or attempting to. Here's Harris. Little chip over the top. Can't control it. Now, DeFilippo. The experienced Quinn. Now Reyes has little room to roam, and Abdu straight into the midriff of Dagenet. But again, another clear side of goal, another clear chance for Vancouver that they do not take.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Reyes does a great job, as we've been talking about. Little quick turn, great way to pass. Can't ask for much more than that, except for the finish. Needs to be sharper and better. Vancouver should be on the board, but they're not, and the finishing has not been sharp enough.
Well, we're inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. And you could make an argument that Vancouver should be winning by 3 or 4 to 1 at this stage, but that's not the case. It's not the way it happens in this game. De Filippo has had the lion's share of those opportunities. So far it's been a frustrating afternoon for the Vancouver number 11. Here they come again. Ulabi this time trying to stay onside, too close to the goalkeeper. That's just catching practice for Dagenet. I might have even been able to catch that one. I don't know about that.
Oh yes, I've seen you play goal. I believe in you. I believe.
Rhythm forced back by Yeka. As I mentioned, that's a battle that will continue until either the 90th minute or until one or the other gets substituted. Ina, Jung, and Lofthouse. Little room. Safety first from Lofthouse, back for Harris. So away from Abdu. Mellenhorst didn't really look. In the end, she was a little fortunate that Liv Scott drew the foul. It's true, you know, that soccer players, like just every other human being, don't have eyes in the back of their head. Mellenhorst got a little fortunate there.
That's why communication is so important.
Correct. That's it. Now, De Filippo, again, room to bring them forward. And about as Abdu makes her way into the box. Pante behind her. Reyes is there as well. Not the most convincing header. Harris. On they go again. De Filippo, yes, finally. It had to happen sooner or later. And her patience and her tenacity is rewarded. Now she can smile. Just De Filippo, 2 minutes before half-time. Vancouver level. It's 1-1 at Swangard.
One thing you have to love about De Filippo's play is that even though when things aren't going her way, she'll just keep driving, keep playing, keep trying for her team. Never seen a player try any harder and never gives up. Does a great job getting the ball, gets a little bit fortunate with the ball coming back, left foot, makes no mistake, puts that one right in the top corner from about 7 yards out. Vancouver deserve it, but they haven't proved in front of net that they have enough until De Filippo finally puts one chance away on her, 4th or 5th chance so far in this match. So we knew it was coming.
That, I'm sure, will make Heine Muller rethink her half-time team talk, which I've got a feeling was going to be something along the lines of, how are we creating all these chances and not scoring? Well, finally, their tenacity and their determination in front of goal has been rewarded, and Mina Lee on the ball now. Her opener has been cancelled out by Jess De Filippo. Her 3rd goal of the season. It's Chu. Adamek trying to get it into the area, rejected by Quinn. On the basis of play, Adamek can't keep it in. On the basis of possession, you'd have to say Vancouver deserved that equaliser.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. And good for them to keep going like that. It's night and day from Vancouver that we saw earlier on the season. They're playing like true champions that they are. We know there was changes at the start of the season, and players that left at the end of last season that have affected the side, and it took some time to get them going, for sure. But they never gave up. They kept working hard on the training pitch, and they've turned it right around with 3 straight wins and a really good half year. Other than the scoreline should be more in favor of Vancouver, they have to be happy. Certainly of the two teams, the happier.
Yeah, you make a really good point there. I mean, losing players of the quality of Holly Ward and Lisa Buczerski and others, it did take a while to find their replacements and to bed them in and get the team up and running in 2026. And there was that sort of championship hangover. That's nothing new in this game as well.
No, exactly.
So we are into a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. And finally, Jess De Filippo draws Vancouver level, having scored the winner late in the game last time out in Montreal. So back-to-back games and back-to-back goals for De Filippo. 1-1 is the scoreline. Pante with the throw. It's Quinn under pressure from Pridham. This is Cowart. Bypasses Tumeth, looking for that outball for and about on that right-hand side. Quinn takes responsibility. Abdu couldn't quite take it in stride, battling to regain possession. And in the end, her enthusiasm got the better of her. And she's penalised for the foul.
Yeah, it was a good ball by Quinn into her feet. Just the first touch, she wanted it to push it into it into stride, and it really hit her heel of her foot, and not creating any opportunities or any danger to Ottawa.
Ball is there to be won in midfield. Aaron Horst makes it hers. Finds Adamek. Captain Scott. Forward for the Korean Chung. Adamek turned into trouble, but it's going to ricochet away off Pante for an Ottawa throw. Well, you can't argue that both sets of players are put in a full shift in the searing heat. Tough to keep going. They are moments away from a 15-minute respite ahead of the sunshine, more hydration. Word for Bellenhorst from Mr. Alayas.
It has to be a little bit frustrating, obviously, for Ottawa, the way things are going in this match, and they just haven't really got their foot on the ball, played the ball as fast as they should do in tight situations to create some open space. And you've seen that frustration with actually Pridham having to come a little bit deeper sometimes to pick up the ball or try to get involved because she wants to get involved. But there hasn't been the support for her when the ball has gone up top to her. And where is that support from other players? It needs to be a little bit sharper. Everything needs to be done a little bit quicker with a little bit more quality from Ottawa's point of view.
Talking here of quality, Quinn generally exudes that. Wolf, her time, finding the outball. Larby. Reyes again has been influential in midfield. Again, inviting the run of Abdu, but just not for the first time, just a little bit too much on it. And runs safely through to Dagenet. Mario Arias blows his half-time whistle to warm applause. Mina Lee on her return from injury. Terrific strike to give Ottawa Rapids the lead with her first goal of the season. And finally, perseverance paying off for Jess De Filippo with the equaliser in the closing minutes of the first half.
Yeah, it was impressive overall by Vancouver. Like I said, it would be the happier of the two teams, and it would be interesting to see at the halftime whether Ottawa makes some changes to the side or whether they keep it the same for the first 15 minutes or so. But it's thoroughly interesting game, and it'll be interesting certainly when you see what happens in the second half of two pretty bright teams that have performed very well of late.
All square then in the heats at Swangard Stadium. Week 8 of the NSL. Vancouver Rise and the Ottawa Rapid. All square at 1-1.
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise.
BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? No, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO.
Everyone watches women's sports because why wouldn't you?
Because it brings us together. It's competitive and exciting and new and fresh.
The women who play are so competitive, so tough, fierce and just leave their emotions all out on the field.
Everybody watches women in sport because we're the best.
Everyone watches women's sports because greatness has no gender.
Because we're a bunch of badass athletes and we love to compete and we're just fun to be around.
Because it's fun and exciting.
Tout le monde regarde le sport féminin parce que les femmes ont eu besoin de briser beaucoup de barrières pour arriver où elles sont aujourd'hui. Donc ça vaut la peine qu'on les regarde et qu'on les encourage.
Everyone watches women's sports because they have good taste. And they should.
Because this is just the beginning.
And at the end of the day, I am proud to kick like a girl, play like a girl, and score like a girl.
First game. First whistle. First goal. First jersey. First autograph. First favorite player. First away game. First big win. First time thinking, that's gonna be me. Firsts help us move forward together. Toyota, founding partner of the first professional women's soccer league in Canada.
We are putting a cap on week 8 of the Northern Super League, brought to you by BMO, official bank of the NSL. Half-time, nothing to choose between Vancouver Rise and the Ottawa Rapids, but the champions, my goodness, they had so many opportunities in that first half, and most of them fell to just one player, Craig.
Yeah, Jessica Philippa, I mean, she did very well. Like you said, she's tenacious and she doesn't stop, and she's a bulldog in there, but created a bunch of chances for herself. I would just say that sometimes it needs to be a little bit more patient in her hold-up play, but when she gets in front of the net, there's only one thing she has on her mind, is going for goal. That's one just bounced up. She needed to get to it early. Couldn't keep it down under the bar, but the chances certainly for Vancouver just keep on coming. This one, she tries a left-footed side foot that just goes by the post. Just watch that agonizingly go by, and happy to see it go by the post. And again, the chances just keep on coming. This one, tough. She just barrels through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, thinking that Dagenet is going to commit, go down, and just dink it over into the back of the net. Not to be. She stood up brilliant. And then Ottawa, with the first time, maybe the only time in a half, where they had a half a yard of space. And Mina Lee makes no mistake with a shot from outside the box that she places, hits it brilliantly well to be Wolf, who has been for the most part a spectator in this match.
Real quality from Mina Lee, so against the run of play, but hold on, that's not the end of the story.
No, it's not. De Filippo, again, where you would expect her to be. Left-footed shot. This time she gets a bit of a space and makes no mistake banging out in the top of the net. Well deserved, really. If she could just look after her chances and just make those better, those opportunities that she gets, and the ratio for goals per chances gets better, she's going to be lights out.
You know what? It could be De Filippo 5, Ottawa 1 at halftime. It isn't. It is 1-1, and that's where we stand. Here are the first half stats. Well, Ottawa with the lion's share of possession, but look at those attempts on goal, heavily in favour of Vancouver. Just that one shot on target from Ottawa, which produced that terrific goal. So, I mean, the story tells itself in terms of the fact that Vancouver just need to be calmer, I guess, in front of goal.
Yeah, exactly. Just calmer and a little bit more quality, of course. The possession base for Ottawa, most of that has been basically in their own third of the field, building out of the back, but haven't been able to produce an end product from it.
1-1 at the break. Jade Rose is a Canadian international. She's also a champion in England. We'll hear more from Jade Rose when we come back.
In the beginning, we didn't really do it as a team, and we came together, and I do think that helped us win the final because we knew how to respond when maybe things were not going our way.
Maybe we were the better team for the whole season, but on that day, if you don't win, you're not going to win.
It felt like a full circle moment.
sometimes that's just the way the sport goes. It doesn't go your way, and you kind of just have to accept that.
It was like a battle, but so rewarding.
Getting ready for this inaugural Northern Super League Championship.
That final was really complicated. We were losing 1-0 and we're having a lot of ups and downs.
When things go wrong, we don't ever turn on each other. We actually turn towards each other to solve the problem.
Yeah, it's like building on our culture.
There is lightning in the area here, so postpone for the moment this match.
We kind of thrive in those uncomfortable situations. So it was no panic for us.
This is so lame, but I was like, this is gonna be like a turning point. It's gotta be. Like, it's a lightning storm. What do you mean? Like, that's wild.
And then you balled.
Corner kick. And it's in the back of the goal.
There'll be a unlucky bounce or an unlucky goal, and that's just something you gotta face.
We looked at each other in the huddle. We're like, let's go.
I remember looking up at the clock at like the 75th minute, and I was like, we can win this.
Forward ball, it's a nice one. She's got an edge on Bruce. What a finish! Vancouver rise up 2-1.
I couldn't stop smiling and just seeing my teammates and knowing the journey that we took to get to this very moment. Only we will know how hard that was.
Still think about it sometimes. We showed that we were the better team, and I think we deserved more.
To do it together was monumental and a really special year.
All we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top. If you fight, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making. Thank you. Built to thrill. Whoa. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like medicine. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening. Collect the CAD and let it flow like the tides, call that currency. Born in Toronto, AFC. Pay the pathway for the kids so that they can dream. Say la vie, if you work hard, it's game time, let's put the ball in motion. Obstacles in my way, gotta rise like Vancouver. Positive mindset, negative, gotta maneuver. I work hard, cause I don't wanna be average. Gain some capital like Ottawa, kinda rapid quick. No time for low key, I keep it wild and free like Calgary. I just wanna play ball and be me. Hear the sound of victory. 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 Hear the sound. Let's eat, let's eat.
Now, before we get back to the second half in Burnaby, let me introduce you to a Canadian champion, an ocean away in England. I'm talking about Canadian international Jade Rose, who's been talking to Kate and to Amy.
Welcome back to the NSL on TSN. Well, we are so pleased to be joined by our next guest. She's an absolute champ. I mean that in every sense of the word. A standout with Man City, a standout with our Canadian women's national team. I'm talking about Jade Rose, who's joining us in studio today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, I just spoke about some of your accolades. Your first season as a pro, remarkable. What was the experience like?
The experience has exceeded every single expectation that I had going into it. I mean, moving across the world to a completely new country and a completely new team, having to fight for a starting spot, and then going on to make history with the club, it was a dream come true.
And listen, with the women's national team, you've seen the jump in your level, like what the pro game has brought back to the national team. You guys are coming off a huge win versus Costa Rica. How would you assess where the team is at looking towards November for Olympic and World Cup qualification?
Yeah, I think that the team's in a great position. I think that, a lot of people were worried about the fact that we only had one matchless window, that we were, we weren't playing a top 10 team. And I think for us, a lot of it came down to, getting great training minutes in, having a lot of time with the squad, building those partnerships, building those connections on the pitch, so that when we get around to qualifiers, that all the pieces are falling into place.
Now you're back home in Toronto, in Canada, just in time for the Men's World Cup. Yeah. Typically in season you live in England, where soccer culture is so widespread, it's so immersive. What do you think, what do you hope this tournament will do for soccer culture in this country?
I think that it's going to skyrocket in this country. I think when I think about, what the 2012 Olympics did for me, when I think about what the 2015 World Cup did for me, that is what this World Cup is going to do for the next generation and for so many players today. It's going to ignite that love of the game, that love of football culture, and I can't wait to see the fans and to see how our team does.
And listen, we know you were busy in Manchester winning the double, but when you had some downtime, were you watching the NSL? Who are you watching, and what are you most impressed with?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to catch whatever game I can. I know so many players across the league, and it is a little tricky with the time difference, so I'm just catching whatever game's on, but I love to look out for a lot of the players that I grew up playing with. Nikki Small, the captain at AFC, Sarita at Calgary, and so many other players across the league that, I'm still friends with to this day.
Amazing.
Well, you're watching them. They're undoubtedly watching you. Likely so proud of your success, as are we. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Jade.
Week 9 of the Northern Super League is coming at you fast and furious. Now on Thursday morning, that isn't a typo by the way, it's a school day down east because the Halifax Tides FC meet the champions, the Vancouver Rise. That's 10 Eastern, 11 Atlantic. Then on Sunday, 2 more matches for you. The Ottawa Rapid up against AFC Toronto in the nation's capital. And then we're in Laval later on Sunday for the Montreal Roses, who take on the Calgary Wild FC. Plenty to look forward to in Week 9 of the NSL.
Hi, I'm Diana Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit NSL.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your favorite team. Tell us why everyone should watch the Northern Super League. Call now, find out where and when to watch, and tune in.
A very warm welcome back to Swangard Stadium in Burnaby, BC. It's the final match of Week 8 of the Northern Super League. Vancouver Rise and the Ottawa Rapid all square at 1-1 after 45 minutes. Visitors are making changes at the start of this second half. Mel Forbes and Naomi Lofthouse have been withdrawn, replaced by Florence Belzile and Johanna Friedland at the start of this second half. So 2 attack-minded players, Craig, for the second 45 minutes, and you get the feeling after what we saw in the first half that Ottawa needs some different ideas offensively.
Yeah, fresh ideas, fresh legs, certainly on the left-hand side. They didn't really do an awful lot. Saw a little bit down the right-hand side, but for Vancouver, you have to credit them because this is a side, Ottawa, that can combine really well in the offensive zone if they're given space and time, and they just really haven't. And when they have done, Mina Lee stepped up and hit a bomb from 25 yards out to make it 1-0, but that was very few and far in between. Needs to be much better from Ottawa. Let's see how the subs do in the second half.
Ottawa Rapid in the white jerseys, predominantly white jerseys and blue shorts, get us underway, attacking the goal to your left in this second half. Against the champions, all in black, the Vancouver Rise. In searing heat, temperatures in or around 30 Celsius. There well, confirmation of the changes, Belzile and Friedland on for Ottawa, and Forbes and Lofthouse withdrawn at half-time, so maybe a different tactical look about Ottawa in this second half, having survived, and I think that's not putting it out of context. Pretty much a first half onslaught from Vancouver, and yet they get to half-time all square.
Yeah, they're fortunate, so they have to try to work on that, build on that. I think the support for Padom up top needs to be there. She just has not had it, and I would expect Belzile to certainly play a little bit higher up, trying to support the front player.
Yeah, Belzile we'll often see as part of that front three for Ottawa. Hemmed in for the time being, but it will be an Ottawa ball deep inside their own territory. It looks as though Chu, who started the game in an advanced position on the right-hand side, has now reverted, Craig, back to her more traditional left-back role.
Yeah, it's interesting because she did very well in that offensive zone, but obviously left back is really a place where she's very comfortable with, obviously, but in recent weeks she's done very well on that side, and scoring and assisting.
And with the substitution of Lofthouse at half-time, it's a natural fit for Chu to slot back at left back and Belzile to join that front three. So we'll see whether that makes a significant difference as far as the Ottawa Rapid is concerned. Certainly Katrina Peterson is hoping so. Chu again loses out on this occasion to Alabout. Reyes takes over, and now Quinn. Square to the left-hand side. This is Surayeka, part of that back three that Vancouver employs. This is the Australian Tumouth. About good first touch inside. Then nowhere to go for Reyes. She was looking forward for Abdu, but Mellenhorst was in the way. So Chu back in her more familiar position of left back. See plenty of her in the second half, I'm sure. Trying to poke it inside. Abdu trying to turn under pressure from Chu. Will bring the ball away. Belzile. Bottom of the screen looks as though she's going to start on the left-hand side of that front three, wearing 10, Florence Belzile. Pridham forward for Johanna Friedland, who wears 7. Together, another attack-minded player. Referee waited to see if there was an advantage. There wasn't. Brings it back for the challenge on Ularbi.
Freedom again, trying to get involved at both ends of the field. She doesn't mind, and it's good to see. Got to be frustrated for that first half performance, just the lack of touches and the amount of times that she's seen the ball, because like I said, they can combine very well, but it is a different look, certainly from Ottawa in the second half, so we'll see if they can perform a little bit better than we saw in the first half.
Whenever we're talking about Ottawa Rapid, the conversation inevitably turns to the importance of DB Pridham as an out-and-out goal scorer. I'll come back to that in a moment. As Vancouver make their way forward again, Reyes looking for the square ball. Now maybe the counter-attack is on. We always talk about Pridham. She's been largely peripheral so far, but here she comes, right on cue. DB Pridham within 5 minutes of the restart. The smile tells it all. She doesn't need an invitation to shoot. She's the most clinical striker in the Northern Super League. And Ottawa are back in front in Burnaby by 2-1.
Talk about clinical. The 2 chances really that they've had. This is really brilliant. I mean, from Ottawa's point of view, the substitutes have had immediate effect. Freeland's running with the ball. The terrific run from Freeland here does a brilliant job getting that space, but the pass was perfect. Laid on. Terrific finish. And an uncharacteristic giveaway by Reyes in the other zone. and they break away with the fresh legs with a brilliant run, brilliant pass, and just to match that with a terrific finish. No chance for the goalkeeper. Sees her come out, lifts it up into the top of the net. She knows exactly what she's doing in that area.
4th goal of the season for the deadliest striker in the Northern Super League, DB Pridham. Can shoot with either foot, equally comfortable, right or left-footed. You just saw the power and the precision. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, you put your bottom dollar on her to score there.
It's true, Nigel. I mean, just the way she runs onto the ball, you get the composure is there, and the vision. She has a look up, sees where the goalkeeper is. It's almost like things are in slow motion when it gets to that stage for her. And Vancouver, for the most part, we've seen them do that very well, protecting her and not getting her into the game in the first half. But the changes that they made Ottawa at halftime certainly have made a difference very, very quickly, and they are absolutely clinical when their chances have come. 2 for 2.
2 for 2, exactly. Mellenhorst ends up on the deck, and now Filippo, I think, is going to get a yellow card for delaying the restart. Goes into the referee's notebook. First yellow card of the contest.
Yeah, DeFilippo, not uncharacteristic, not unfamiliar with being booked, you know, for different things. You can get frustrated there, and that was really a silly yellow card to give away. It was unnecessary.
Suffice to say, Jess DeFilippo will have to be on her best behaviour for the remainder of the game, as Ottawa look to threaten again, having got themselves back in front. Chu trying to get there before Abdu.
Yellow card caution, Vancouver Rise FC, number 11, Jessica DeFilippo.
Confirmation of the caution for DeFilippo. Given away in Vancouver, the goal scorer. It's noticeable, isn't it, how deep Pridham is prepared to come to get involved and get Ottawa moving in an offensive fashion.
Yeah, she's just an out-and-out, very, very good footballer, and she's comfortable in just in those midfield positions as well. And when she's not getting involved, she'll, you know, just have the best players in the world find a way to get on the ball, and she does that. And I think that you'd rather have her in the 18 when the crosses come in the box, but sometimes you have to do the work and get on the ball, and she does it brilliantly well.
Pante battling, the two 22s come together. Pridham trying to shrug her off. Still Pridham waiting for some support. And now Mellenhorst into the area. Can they pull this back? In the end, chance came quickly. And the shot was well over the bar. There is a visual and a numerical illustration of just how important and how often DB Pridham does that. 34 matches, this is over 2025 and the start of 2026. 24 goals and 6 assists. You know what, in any league in the world, that is a phenomenal scoring rate.
It is. That would be what you call prolific, you know, and for chances created, for chances finished is just bang on up there. And I think that's when you look at Vancouver and the likes of like a DeFilippo, who gets a lot of opportunities to score goals. If she can improve that, she'll be in the same category as we're talking about with Pridham.
Well, Ottawa looking to play their way out. Quinn trying to deny them that pleasure. Yaka takes over, trying to drive Vancouver forward as they look for a second equaliser. Now Reyes trying to poke it through. Gets a second bite of the cherry. Chu. Harris up towards halfway, only as far as Cowart. That'll run all the way through to Dagenet. I think there are some things that you can't be taught in football, soccer, call it what you will. And having that power, pace, determination, self-confidence, belief, I'm not sure what other ingredients are necessary to have that predatory finishing instinct that a player like Pridham has. It's a rare commodity.
It really is, and that's why when they come along, they get the big bucks.
Yeah.
They get the big moves because, like I said, it is the hardest job in the business to put the ball in the back of the net. And she does it so brilliantly well and efficiently, as well as bringing others into play. She's like just a wonderful football player to watch.
just a moment ago there. De Filippo, the pass came to her on the edge of the area. Momentarily took her eye off the ball, ran under her foot, and out for a goal kick. Vancouver are going to make changes, as you can see there. Triple substitution coming for the champions. So Jamie Perreault, Nikki Stanton, and Maite Lopez are coming on. Reyes, De Filippo, somewhat surprisingly, and Ularbi are replaced just before the hour mark. So a triple substitution. Anya Heiner-Muller looks to find a way for her players to combine effectively and really take advantage of all those opportunities they created, not only in the first half but somewhat in the second as well, and yet find themselves behind. There is Jamie Perreault, who was a really effective substitute in the last game against Montreal. Made a bursting run down the right wing and laid it on the plate for Filippo's winner. 3-2 victory over the Montreal Roses.
A little bit surprised to see De Filippo come off. I mean, scored the goal, of course. Had a ton of chances. You could argue that, yeah, she didn't do her job as well as she should have done, but still made herself available, still was, creating opportunities and getting on the ends of things. And the coach sees it a little bit differently and looking to change things up, just like Ottawa did with the immediate effect at the start of the second half.
Well, we can see if that does make a difference as far as Vancouver are concerned. You see the home team. They want to get the fans behind them. They want to hear the chants going up. They want to hear the fans willing them on. Mellenhorst for Ottawa at the other end. That's a clever ball inside for Adamek. The ball is just not collected on the first attempt, but the second, that's a fine save. Whistle's gone by Jessica Wolf. It's Belzile, I think, with the shot. Wolf was just equal to it.
Yeah, Ottawa again with another good opportunity. Poor clears by Vancouver. They get on top, but they certainly are on the front foot, Ottawa, with those substitution changes. And finally, a really good save by the goalkeeper, Wolf, in net for Vancouver to keep it at 2-1. Really important save.
I don't think it would have counted, as it turns out, because of the free kick. I did hear a whistle. It was, by the way, Mellenhorst, just to confirm, with that powerful shot, which Wolf turned aside. But I've got a feeling it wouldn't have counted. Meanwhile, at the other end, here is Perreault on as a substitute. Thinking about it. Jamie Perreault looking for the square pass. Now there are possibilities. And the opportunity fell to Lopez. Just on as a substitute.
Not a bad opportunity either. Really gets played into place here. Now picks up a pass. Waiting for it. Good patience from Vancouver. And a good block. Good defending. Closing down that space on Lopez.
Adamek and others in the way, so net result is a corner. I think Nikki Stanton is going to take on that far side. There's Stanton up towards the penalty spot. Ball is loose. It's going to run away for a Vancouver throw midway inside the Ottawa half of the field. Pante with it. Perreault against Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst did well again. Little live wire in midfield. First season in the NSL for Kira Mellenhorst, and making quite a reputation for herself. Adamek on the charge, on the flank for Ottawa. Early ball forward for Friedland. And the assist for the go-ahead goal, Friedland. Another player who's come back from injury, like Mina Lee there. Couldn't quite take it in stride. Jung. Stanton hacks it away. Friedland again. Ottawa piling the pressure on Vancouver. Mina turning. There's Chu. And Now Belzile for Ottawa. Into the area, Belzile. Tumouth match the run at the expense of a corner.
Looks like taking a bit of a knock or twisted ankle maybe on the block as well. What a difference from Ottawa. Great substitutions. Freeland has been excellent, the number 7 as from coming on, just causing all sorts of problems for Vancouver here in the early stages of the second half.
So Ottawa with an opportunity here. From the set piece, it's towards the back post. It's behind for a goal kick. Liv Scott trying to get up there. It was the captain. To get ahead on it, but sort of leaning backwards, couldn't get the purchase or the direction she was hoping for. But she won't care too much about that as long as the scoreline doesn't change in the next half an hour or so. Scott again in the more orthodox central defensive header. Adamek, her captain. Harris. Malenhorst Quinn looking to lead the charge as far as the champions are concerned. Here comes the dangerous looking Perrault. Perrault watched all the way. That's a useful ball into the middle. And Lopez couldn't quite get on it. Needed to control that first time. Just a slightly heavy touch. That's clever again from Pridham. Wholehearted in whatever she does. Now Tumouth for Vancouver. Harris. Mina scored that excellent opening goal. And the horse for Jung in midfield. Ottawa somewhat teasing Vancouver. Just playing keep ball for the time being. And that saps the energy of your opponent when you're just chasing shadows sometimes. Adamek, can she keep it in? She doesn't.
And that's what we've become familiar with Ottawa, is keeping that ball in possession. Combination plays are really good. Balance from back to front is usually very good. And they struggled in the first half to get that support to Pridham. She never got on the ball enough, but you see when she does get on the ball, she has that acceleration of pace and you get by players, get past players so quickly. And for Vancouver, you just don't want to get the ball into her feet because she's going to cause troubles.
It's possibly the understatement of the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, she really does that. I mean, Chu chipping it forward all the way through to Wolf. And of course, Vancouver know all about her. Everybody connected with the league. Oh.
Maybe not the goalkeeper.
Well, perhaps not. Hit him again. I mean, her work rate is exceptional. We've talked about her finishing. She's very much. I mean, I'm not sure there's such a thing as a complete player or a first player on the team list. But if I was coaching, I can't think of too many other players that would be ahead of her on my team sheet.
No, she's just solid all around. Yeah. Just a wonder to play against and play for Ottawa. And you can just see she's a level above several of the players out there, you have to admit. Let's put it this way: if Pridham was on Vancouver, Vancouver would have been probably 3 or 4 up at halftime, I would think, with the quality that she's had, if she had those chances that Vancouver had in the first half.
And isn't it good to see that a player who was born in the United States in California has chosen to represent Canada at international level, and having made such an impact has actually forced her way in to the Canada senior team. Quinn goes to ground. Stanton takes over, the substitute. Quinn's up. And there's so much to be said for what this league is about, what it stands for. Quinn couldn't quite get there in time. that there is a pathway from the second year of the NSL. It doesn't just have to be the star players playing in Europe, the players who are making a name for themselves in the NSL will get noticed.
Absolutely. We're seeing that, and it's just a great, well, we know it's like one of the best leagues in the world for women's football. It just is, and the amount of players are going to be able to get opportunities and build their careers through it, come back, end their careers into it. But the youth and development is excellent, and we've seen that already.
Change at the back, in that back three for Vancouver. This is a like-for-like change. The withdrawal of Jessica Cowett, and she is going to be replaced by Kennedy Faulkner. So Faulkner will slot in alongside Yeka and Tumeth in that back three. Couldn't make it hers. Now then, Perot has made it hers. Is she going to take the shot on? Trying to find Abdu. It was just ahead of Vancouverized number 99. And a little careless at the back from Ottawa.
It was a careless on the ball. Perot just jumps all over this. Very slow to react, Ottawa. And now it's just about picking out the pass. And this has let Vancouver down on a number of occasions in this match that needs to be better. And again, that's going to be frustrating for the coach and the team.
Just approaching the midway point of this second half. Ottawa have led twice. Vancouver equalized shortly before halftime. But DB Pridham, being DB Pridham, have made them pay within 5 minutes of the restart. So Vancouver threatening again, as they did so often in the first half, but again, sloppy pass allows and eases the pressure on Ottawa. Stanton a little over physical, called for the foul. Reminding you, if you're joining us for the second half, it is a hot day, and because of it, we are due a second hydration break at some point, probably in the next 7 or 8 minutes. So there will be another manufactured but necessary stoppage. Belzile for Ottawa, poking it forward. Mina Lee gave chase for a while, so the pass could have been somewhat more accurate from Belzile. Had room to measure it. Quinn or Tumeth. Ottawa preparing another change of their own. To see the impression of Sadie Waite on her way, but we'll confirm that when it takes place. Mina Lee might be the player. Come off. Belzile should have taken the shot herself. Adamek blasted it. Big ricochet. Scott trying to keep it going for Ottawa. Jung plenty ahead of her in white. Harris trying to thread the needle. Friedland for Adamek. Jung getting involved plenty, waiting for the final ball if it ever comes. Jung again. Players from both sides competing for every blade of grass. Adamek, can she curl one in from that far side? Not quite. It's going to be another throw. The hydration break is imminent, as is another change for the Ottawa Rapid. Harris is going all the way over there to take the throw. Some decent distance on it towards the penalty spot. Referee spotted a push. And it will be a free kick for Vancouver inside their own penalty area. They're quick to get on with it. Wolf clears up towards halfway. Chu will get there first. Perot breathing down her neck. Had time to cushion it back to Dagenet. Scott, Chu again. Square ball. Jung calm under pressure from Abdu. Jung again. Harris just pokes it forward for the Korean. Jung still full of running. Fellow Korean Chu. Both players, both sets of players trying to conserve energy, as well as making a telling impact on the remainder of the game. And they could be in again here. And guess who? Oh, it's a red card. It's a red card for the substitute. And indeed, Kennedy Faulkner, who's only just come on the field. That tangle with Pridham, adjudged to have fouled her opponent and denied an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and Faulkner is given a marching order, straight red card, and it's going to be a penalty to Ottawa.
I got to admit, initially I didn't see that there was enough there for a yellow card. She blows by her, but you do see a little bit of a tug on Freedom for sure. The referee certainly spots it as he's running in. There's a bit of a tug by both sides, but that is definitely enough where the referee thinks it's been tugged back. Maybe a little bit harsh, maybe, if you're from Vancouver's point of view, but you can't put your hands on the attacker, and the referee sees it, and you're just asking for trouble, and that's why Faulkner is finding her way to the dressing room, a player short here.
First NSL red card of 2026. And Kennedy Faulkner thought she had time to clear, but again, Pridham's persistence got her level. And then just a tug on the left arm of DB Pridham was enough to convince the referee. But not only was it a penalty decision, but also a red card. And by the letter of the law, you can't really argue with that.
No, you can't. I mean, it's a pace that just kills you, you know, and her pace in behind. No, she was going to get beat. Faulkner puts her hands on her. And yeah, she was reaching for the ball, and it made it probably look like it was more of a tug on her, but she did have her arms on her, and the red card is, yeah, like you say, you can't argue.
Golden opportunity for the Ottawa Rapid. And for DB Pridham, had a penalty saved in her last match against Halifax. Pridham, not this time. Side foots it into the corner. No chance for Wolf in the back of the net. And Pridham has 2, and Ottawa has 3 in Vancouver.
And for Vancouver, that's an absolute disaster, of course. You're now down a player, and you're just conceded another goal. You're 2 goals behind now, 3-1. Really tidy penalty. Nicely done. Calm, cool. After missing last time, you would never know it, would you? Just an absolute quality player that you would expect to tuck it away, and does.
Approval from the head coach, as you might expect. Katrina Peterson. She's deadly DB. Do it all again. 5th goal of the season. And an unfortunate Jessica Wolf in goal could do nothing about the spot kick from 12 yards. As we reach the hydration break in the second half, presented by Powerade. And Wolf and her colleagues, well, they've just got to try and reset, even though they're also now a player down, of course, with the unfortunate red shown to the substitute Faulkner. Let's just say it's an uphill battle for the next 15-20 minutes or so for Vancouver.
Well, that's right, because they made a number of substitutions already to try to change the game. Now you find yourself even in worse trouble than you were before, with one of the substitutes being sent off. And what are you going to do defensively now? Because you're going to have to start taking chances if you want to get into this game, maybe get something from it. The time's running out, and Ottawa is obviously looking a lot more comfortable. with a great response to a poor first half where they got away with it because of Vancouver's poor finishing.
Penny, for your thoughts, Latifa, on whom so often defends offensively with the Vancouver Rise. Maybe there is yet another twist in this tale, but it would be a huge surprise. Mina Lee can still smile. I think her race is just about done. And mentioned in my ear a moment ago that in fact it is the end of Mina Lee, but what an impact she had in this game, Craig.
Yeah, one of the only moments in the first half, that's for sure, where Ottawa had a bit of space, certainly at the top of the box, and with a strike and precision and the power that she has, she can also lay a pass in or take the chance and strike one past the goalkeeper, and Wolf had no chance with that one. And it was a goal ready against the run of play with all those opportunities for Vancouver, but a team that can score in bundles and have a number of players that can hurt you, you have to take those chances. They did not, and Ottawa has punished Vancouver.
On in Mina's place is number 11, Sadie Waite, who's had quite a bit to say herself in terms of offense and goal scoring in recent weeks. Might have felt a little unfortunate not to get the start today, but with Mina Lee being fit again, Sadie may have to content herself with a place on the bench in the coming weeks, although generally we see Mina generally does not complete 90 minutes, usually somewhere around about this time of the game. If she starts, she is subbed off, but Sadie Waite, her replacement, can certainly cause problems of her own. There's a couple of goals under her belt as well. Here is Pridham, who has a couple of goals under her belt in this game, and Waite is going to give chase. Tumouth, the Australian, comes away with it. Harris belts it forward as far as Wolf, who, as we said off the top of the show, has made 3 appearances and won 3 games, the young Japanese goalkeeper. This is her 4th appearance, and maybe she's looking at a first loss in her professional career. But there's a long way to go, probably still 15 minutes or so to play. As Vancouver looked for a way back in, Abdu was almost there. Hasn't quite fallen for her in this game. Quality of that final ball has just been just a little off from Vancouver, because they've created so many chances, and here they come again with Quinn, who can hit them as well. Not this time. Perot up against Chu. Perot. Oh, Perot, the opening is there. Side netting. And from what, 5 or 6 yards out, Perot really needed to hit the target.
Yeah, she did. I mean, really good work. Everything was good except for the actual strike and the finish itself. From Ottawa's point of view, you could see the legs are starting to get heavy and the defending is starting to drop off. Getting tired, she just drops off here a little bit, and she's isolated. She's a split-second opening if she could just take it to the wide position, and does so, but the strike was just off target. Needed to be much better. Hit the target, make the goalkeeper work at least, drive it across them, maybe get a save, push back into play, and maybe get something from the rebound. Near post like that, it's not going to get you anything.
We're having a word with the referee. Net result is a free kick in a position of some danger. Nikki Stanton will take it, and I would imagine she'll float this in right-footed. With some of the big players out from the back, perhaps. They really need to get something in the next couple of minutes, you feel, Vancouver, if they're to make a game of this, as they trail by a couple. Into the area it goes. Quinn couldn't quite make contact. And About, who was very lively in the first half, has a chance up against Chu towards the near post. Only as far away as Perot. Belzile and Jung battling for every ball, and Abdu tries to lay it off. Stanton, frustratingly, over the head of her teammate. And behind for another goal kick. It's just not happening in front of goal for Vancouver, is it?
And that's a really tough ball from that position of the pitch to try to find a player making a run. It would take the best of skill. It can be done, but it's a very difficult ball. You're almost too straight on. Oh, there's another giveaway by Ottawa.
They've done it on one too many occasions for my liking in this game, but they haven't necessarily been made to pay. And I'm sure it's something the coach will address when they watch this game back maybe on Tuesday. After they get back to Ottawa. Abdu, we know she can make a difference. Is there time for her to do that? Belzile, touch inside, still Belzile goes for goal and brings a really smart save out of Wolf, low to her right-hand side. Given it away to Chu, and now Mellenhorst. Is there another goal coming for Ottawa? Not quite on the same page, Jung and Friedland. Niapante trying to bring it forward, but falls backwards, Friedland. And again, careless in possession. There'll still be possibilities here. Mellenhorst rides one challenge. They're queuing up to shoot. And it will be Belzile. Didn't quite get there. Now they can make the change. And it's going to be Emily Amado, who's going to come on as a midfield replacement for the Korean Jung. Emily Amado, 25-year-old from Ottawa. Has played in Iceland and in Sweden in recent years. Another Canadian happy to be playing back on home soil. Last 10 minutes of an absorbing contest, which has swung one way then the other. Vancouver were all over Ottawa like a rash in the first 20-25 minutes, then conceded an unexpected goal. Drew level before half-time. Pridham re-establishing the lead early in the second half, and then the double whammy of a red card and a penalty 10 minutes ago. That might just have knocked the final stuffing out of the Vancouver Rise. As far as Ottawa, Craig, are concerned, it's just about managing this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, managing the minutes and managing some of the tired legs, but obviously when you're up 3-1, your legs are a little bit better shape. You always seem to find a little more energy than you do when you're losing 3-1. And I know it's Vancouver certainly struggling with the temperature. The back line are getting tired. They're trying not to drop any deeper because they need to try to find some way back in this match, but they haven't been able to seem to do that with the same effectiveness as they had in the first half.
Offside against Belzile. Trying to ping that square for Pridham. But just strayed the wrong side of the last defender. Is it too much to ask for Vancouver at this stage of the game?
Well, watching them in the last few weeks, I would say no. I think they've got every chance to get something into this game. There's going to be some chances in the last 5-10 minutes of play.
Looking for the shot. Adamek and then Quinn. Shots raining in from everywhere. Belzile looking for Friedland. Still a pretty open game. It's not a question of Ottawa shutting up shop, at least not yet. And about. They keep it in as the first matter of business, and Pante does. He's got through a ton of work, as has Adamek, who's been facing her most of the afternoon. Pridham jogging forward, waiting for Waits to make the run, and then fools them all by coming inside. Heavy touch from Belzile. Suriaka. Back for Quinn. They've got to keep trying to ask the questions defensively of the Ottawa Rapid. You can't give it up, and Abdou is in no mood to do that. Latifa Abdou looking for one key pass, finds Perrault. Perrault across the face of goal. Abdou trying to get there. Abdou off the face of Harris and away again. They're still threatening. They still believe there is something in it for them. Stanton this time, left-footed curler. It's unfortunate. Wasn't really a cross or a shot. And behind for another goal kick for the Ottawa Rapid. And DB Pridham, with 2 goals, 1 from the penalty spot, gives way to Jazz Wilkinson. Well, what can you say that we haven't already said?
Yeah, just an absolutely brilliant player that can just play off runs, play off shoulders, make terrific runs, come to feet, hold up the ball. But that pace is really, really electric, and it's enough to, you know, for any defender to scare them. And the penalty strike was beautifully played as well. Just a wonderful player to watch all in all. And if you give her chances, she's going to take them. And I think the substitutes at halftime were a major factor to get her a little bit more space, a little bit more opportunities to get on the end of it, and some precision passes as well to break down Vancouver after a second half has been absolutely brilliant to watch, and good for Ottawa to change things up and the way they have, really well coached, and it's made all the difference.
Belzile, first touch there for Chloe Taylor, by the way, who's just come on to replace Suriaka. Ball will finally go out of play for a corner. There is young Chloe Taylor. Just 17 years of age from North Vancouver. Great thrill for her to get on the field despite the match situation. All these learning minutes are important for these young players. So Friedland will take the corner as Ottawa look to add a fourth. Keeper comes, and there was a foul somewhere in there, spotted by the referee. Maybe a push on the keeper. Is a free kick to Vancouver, and Wolf wants the ball back so they can get on with it. As you can see, there's less than 2 minutes remaining in regulation, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to add with the hydration break, so perhaps 6 minutes in total. Wolf again, good distance on those kicks.
Yeah, she's got a great strike on her.
Abdou was looking to turn, couldn't control it, tired legs. And about now Mellenhorst with purpose, options left and right. Here's Wilkinson. Wilkinson took a deflection, I think it's a corner.
Well, for Vancouver, the legs are getting tired, and Ottawa is playing some football that they're pretty happy with, and it's just very difficult now for Vancouver, obviously with the time as it is, but Ottawa has controlled the game and fully deserved this from the second half performance.
Friedland again, the Norwegian, another player who's overcome some injury issues in recent weeks. Good to see her back on the field. Floated towards the back post, looking again for Wilkinson, just skimmed over the top of her head. I'm hearing there'll be a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time. Confirm that for you momentarily. Wolf goes long, as Vancouver must go long now. It looked like a handball against Quinn, I believe.
And I think for Vancouver, that likes of DeFilippo that's off the pitch now, is that you're missing link to try to, when you're trying to scrap and get it back into the game, that type of offensive power and strength. potentially create troubles for Ottawa. It's just not on the park now, and the legs are too heavy to really get forward for Vancouver unless Ottawa give the ball away cheaply.
Chumouth, yeah, everything has to be long and quick, but it has to be measured as well. You can't just belt it forward, because Dagenet and her defenders will just eat those up all day long. Confirmation of the stoppage time, a minimum of 5 minutes to add. Just glancing around the field, the body language of one or two of the Vancouver players is, as you would expect, not terribly positive, but they need to keep going. Need to stay positive, need to keep believing, keep battling. Play to the whistle, as they say. Horse ran out of room. Quinn, little chip forward, looking for Abdou, looking to turn. Ottawa shirts are there in numbers defensively. Wilkinson for Waite. Sadie Waite. Romano. And Adamek. Fridland. Scott back for the Norwegian. Wilkinson will give chase, and maybe in behind here. Wilkinson trying to play in Belzile. Didn't have enough on the pass to get past that central defender. Might have just called her own number then, Wilkinson, and gone for goal. She may get another chance here, Wilkinson. Again, looking for the square ball. It falls for Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst, drop of the shoulder inside one. Friedland, and Friedland is always rising.
Friedland's been a joy to watch the second half. Been all over the park, set pieces, taking things down the right flank, getting crosses into the box, supporting the important Freedom to make her, give her a little bit of extra space to work in, and the passes have been precise, and the second half has been an excellent performance by Ottawa. They rode their luck in the first half, of course. The changes have been excellent. I mean, bang on.
Yeah, they did take their time, very much so. Really good point to grow into this game. They were under big pressure first 20-25 minutes.
And that's also the risk, Nigel, when you're putting that pressure on like Vancouver did with that high press in this hot weather. Right. Whether or not you take those chances, and then later in the game, if you don't, your legs are, heavy, and it's difficult to get back into it.
Dagenet doesn't want the ball anywhere near her penalty area. Anywhere in that part of the field will do as far as Ottawa are concerned. Bout belts it forward. It's Perreault, I was going to say. Brings it down, but makes a gift of it to the Ottawa defenders. Belzile is comfortably offside. About scored her first goal before the international break. Belzile has time to bring it down, find Chu, and Sadie Waite for Friedland. Wilkinson ahead of her. Friedland more concerned on just holding on to the ball for the next 40 seconds or so. I'm afraid the jig is up as far as the Vancouver Rise is concerned after 3 straight wins. That streak is about to come to an end in front of their own fans at Swangard Stadium. Waite takes over, might just take it to the corner flag. Keep it in play and just watch some seconds disappear off the clock. It's finally out of play. Referee has seen enough. Mario Alias blows his final whistle. All smiles for Katrina Peterson and the Ottawa Rapid. Embrace for Anja Heine-Muller. But after an uncertain start by the Ottawa Rapid, they took the lead against the run of play, got pegged back, but then Craig very much controlled the second half and were, I think, worthy winners.
Yeah, I believe it. I would agree with that as well. It was certainly a game of two halves where Vancouver really dominated, came out, pressed really well, created a whole bunch of opportunities. It was just a case of missed opportunities, and wow, what a goal. But Mina Lee to start things off. And 34-year-old, absolutely electric in that game. In the second half with the substitutions, absolutely sparked Ottawa on to a terrific 3 points.
DB Pridham with the dance of victory. And why not? 2 more goals for the deadliest striker in the NSL. 1 from the penalty spot. But somebody has to put them away, and 5 for the season for DB Pridham, 2025's Golden Boot winner, and continuing in 2026 where she left off last season. Plenty of opportunities at both ends of the field. In the end, the Ottawa Rapid got more shots on target and were much more adventurous offensively in the second half and emerged winners by 3 goals to 1. And it is a result that elevates the Rapid back on top of the standings, just a point ahead of the Montreal Roses, who were held to a 1-1 tie yesterday by AFC Toronto, and they remain the league's leading goal scorers. So Ottawa Rapid back in first place ahead of Montreal. Vancouver stay in 4th position for the time being. It's been a hot day, and you have to factor that in as well. And a game, it wasn't quite of 2 halves, but it was certainly of one team dominating and not taking their chances, and then paying the price, I think.
Exactly. I mean, at 2-1, Ottawa had 2 chances on goal, and they were clinical on both of those. Vancouver had a whole slew in the first half that they missed. The Filippo must have had 4 or 5 chances, ended up getting 1, tied it up just before halftime. But the changes, the substitutes, and the coaching for Ottawa was bang on. They got it right in the second half, and they dominated.
DB Pridham leads the Ottawa Rapid to victory. How many times have we said that in the past? She's done it again, this time in Burnaby, BC, to elevate the Rapids back to top spot in the NSL by 3 goals to 1. On behalf of Craig Forrest and our entire team, I'm Nigel Reid. Thanks so much for watching.